Sitting on the outside looking in, this 10-game homestand will either make or break the Braves' hopes for another postseason. First up, the division-leading Nationals arrive with a magic number of 4 to clinch the National League East. They start this series with powerful right-hander Stephen Strasburg. He faces an offensively challenged Braves team that's battered him all year. There's no truer definition of the home stretch than what the Braves begin tonight. It's Game 1, the Nationals and the Braves, next on Sports South. It's great to be back in Atlanta, where the Braves begin their final homestand of this 2014 regular season campaign, and they go right from the frying pan to the fire for the first place Washington Nationals are in town. All year long, Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. Atlanta needs a big series against the Nats. They don't want Washington to clinch the Eastern Division on Atlanta's home turf. Washington's magic number for the East stands at 4. The Braves, though, still have very much life left in the wild card race, but they've dug themselves a hole. They are 4 games out of the second wild card and have to chase down Milwaukee and the Pittsburgh Pirates, who begin a big series tomorrow night. Hi again, friends. Chip Carey along with Tom Glavine and Joe Simpson. Welcome back to the ballpark, where there's no way to sugarcoat it, fellas. The Braves had an awful road trip. They were 2-7, were swept by the Texas Rangers, who have the worst record in Major League Baseball. And so the Braves now have dug themselves a 4-game deficit in the wild card. They got to start finding solutions, and they got to find them fast.
Yeah, it was an awful road trip, Chip, and the fact that they didn't pick up any wins in Texas also prevented them from gaining some ground on at least Milwaukee. So what they've got to do now is put it behind them, get started here on this homestand in a good way, and hope that they can continue their dominance over Stephen Strasburg. But, Tommy, you've been in situations like this before, and I know with this schedule dwindling down, it puts an emphasis on each and every game.
Well, it really does. I mean, look, you can't worry about how you got here. All you can do is look ahead and see how you can get yourself back into a position to hopefully get into the postseason. And for the Braves, it has to start tonight. They have to take it. They have to go out there tonight, get this homestand off to a good start, take care of business against Washington, and then take care of business against the Mets, and hopefully put themselves in a position where that series next week against the Pirates is a relevant series. Now, you always want to control your own destiny. The problem for the Braves right now is they don't necessarily do that other than the Pittsburgh series. They need some help, obviously, to jump Milwaukee and then put themselves in a position where that Pittsburgh series matters. But to me, that's their short-term goal. Take care of business right now this week so that that series next week against Pittsburgh is relevant. They can control their own destiny in that series. And really, to me, that should be their eyes should be on that as being, hey, that's our first postseason series right there. We got to find a way to make that relevant.
And step 1 begins with Stephen Strasburg, a man the Braves have dominated once again here in 2014. Ervin Santana gets the ball for Atlanta in the series opener. Down the stretch we come. 13 games left for the Braves, 10 of them here at home. We'll see what the ball players think about this important stretch of games when we come back.
season very well could come down to this final 10-game homestand, which starts tonight with the division-leading Nationals. Hey guys, I'm Jen Hildreth, and I don't know about you, but when I came to Turner Field tonight, I wondered exactly what kind of a ball club I was going to see. What are we going to get from the Braves after a very disheartening and disappointing road trip? But I've got to tell you, after talking to the guys in the clubhouse earlier today, I came away pretty encouraged by their mindset heading into this homestand.
Just win today. Try to win today, and then worry about the rest of it. Later on, we just got to take it day by day. And if we win today, we're put ourselves in the best position, and then do the same thing again tomorrow.
We're still trying. We're still battling, even though sometimes it doesn't feel like or seem like we are. But we're still grinding.
We're obviously not mathematically out of it, and we still have a chance. If we can get on a run, we got a chance to get in. So that's what we're going to try to do.
The guys, to a man, all said, we're still trying, we're still fighting, we are fully committed. And make no mistake, there is a little bit of extra motivation to make sure that visiting locker room stays dry in this series. They do not want the Nationals clinching the division here at Turner Field. Well, the Braves have been good against this Washington team here in Atlanta, going 11-5 against the Nationals going back to last season. See if Ervin Santana can try and help his team swap the Nats tonight. We're playing ball when we come back.
It is great to be back in Atlanta here at Turner Field, where the Braves have a 40-31 record. Ervin Santana makes his way to the mound for the Braves, seeking his 15th victory of the season. He's been great all year at home. Let's hope he can be again against the high-flying Washington Nationals. Their starting lineup, presented by skipper Matt Williams and Toyota, shows Adam LaRoche. He's done good work against Santana in only 11 at-bats, 3 RBIs and 5 hits. Their hottest hitter is Anthony Rendon, who absolutely was brilliant in the last series played by Washington. He was 11 for 19 with a couple of homers. You always want to keep an eye on him. So for Santana, fellas, that's got to be job number one.
Ervin Santana making his 29th starter in the year, 14-8 with a 3.76 ERA. You see his home road splits on the season, and at home he's been really good, 10-2 with a 3.5 ERA. So as much as we've talked about the Braves' success against Steven Strasburg, this might be the right guy they have on the mound for them to start this homestand off as well with those home numbers.
And for Ervin Santana, his 4 keys to pitching success. Number 1, home dominance. He is 10-2 here at Turner Field with a 3.51 ERA. Only Johnny Cueto's won more home games, who's won 11. And hot offense. He's not used to hot offense, but he's going to be facing a hot offense here tonight as the Washington Nationals are on a roll and they want to clinch this thing quick.
Their magic number is 4. Any combination of Washington wins and Braves losses that add up to 4 means the Nationals reclaim the division title. So Denard Span, their leadoff man, and Santana's first is a called strike. .77 degrees at first pitch. As the Washington leadoff man Denard Span carries a .299 average into play tonight. He has had a breakout year for the Nationals.
He's had a breakout second half, Chip. He's hitting almost .350 since the All-Star break.
Hits in bunches for Pence. A lot of multi-hit games. This one's grounded toward first. Freeman's got it. He'll lead Irvin to the bag. Oh, a little slip as he got to the pillow. See if Irvin's all right. He says he is. That was scary. Span retired.
Yeah, he's slow coming back to the mound too. Might have been a wet base and he hit the top of it.
A little drizzly, dewy night here, so yeah, probably a little condensation on the top of the bag, and he didn't exactly hit it where you're supposed to either. Hit it on kind of the back side of it, so that didn't help.
So Span's retired, and here's Anthony Rendon. 20 homers, 80 RBIs for the Washington third baseman. As Joe mentioned, hot offense, one of the keys for Santana. The reason Rendon leads the league in runs scored is because Worth, LaRoche, Desmond, and Harper have been driving in Span and Rendon with frightening regularity.
4 straight guys with 80 or more RBIs, including Rendon.
The only major league team with 4 80 or more RBI men. Still 2 weeks of baseball left for the Nationals. Rendon out of Rice. 2 for 9 against Santana in his career with a homer. And a high strike. 1-2.
Irvin struggled in his game against Washington at Nationals Park. He got beat 6-4. Didn't have his slider that day. One of the few times since the All-Star break it wasn't real sharp for him.
Williams in his first year as the manager of Washington. It has not been a cakewalk despite their big division lead. They have had their share of injuries and problems too.
Yeah, it's I'd venture to say it's been a little bit of a learning experience across the board. Got some, like you say, some injuries to deal with, some issues to deal with. They've done a nice job holding things together.
Washington at 85-63. They're 6 games under 500 away from Nationals Park. Now the 2-2 pitch is caught on a miss. There's that slider. That was nasty, and Rendon is out number 2.
Good job of expanding the strike zone. Throw that slider. Looks like a strike out of the hand and just finishes out of the zone. Tough to lay off.
Irvin's chasing down a milestone in the strikeout column tonight. If he gets 7 more strikeouts, he'll reach 1,500. And that's his first tonight. Here's Jason Worth. Worth at 284. 16 homers, 80 RBIs. Atlanta's pitched him tough this year. Believe it or not, Jason Worth's knocked in only 1 run against the Braves all year. And he was fooled badly. 0-2.
They had a day off last Thursday, just like the Braves. They went to New York. Worth sat out Friday's game because of what he called some dead legs. He's been battling a little bit of a flu bug too.
In the air, shallow right. Hayward broke back. Now comes charging in. He's got it. Under the gray skies, and Santana gets the Nationals in order. 1-2-3. Steven Strasburg faces the Braves and the nemesis that is Turner Field next. Braves and Nationals hook up in game 1 of our series. Washington retired in order. Here come the Braves. Got to score some runs against Steven Strasburg tonight. The Toyota starting 9 features Freddie Freeman. You look at what he has done against the Washington right-hander. Freeman bats 3rd. Justin Upton bats 4th. And a new leadoff man in Phil Gosselin. Freddie Gonzalez shaking things up a bit in his starting 9. And hopefully again tonight's the night for the Braves against this talented and hard-throwing right-hander.
Steven Strasburg 11-11 on the year, and we have a plethora of numbers that can tell you how he struggled against the Braves. Here's a couple to start with. 9 home starts, he's 2-4. 7 road starts, he's 1-3. So he has struggled to say the least against the Braves.
His 4 keys tonight: chip, no, not carry. He might have a chip on his shoulder though after all those ugly numbers against the Braves, and he does not do well when a least little thing goes wrong against the Braves, a blooper, an error, whatever. He needs a little more of a stiff upper lip when things like that happen.
And he has said he doesn't like the mound. He doesn't like the pitching background here. There's something about the setup at Turner Field that has gotten into his head as Gosselin drives one to center. And Span drifts back and makes the play for out number 1. Have you guys heard that before from other pitchers? Not this ballpark, this mound, this batter's box?
I haven't. I can't say that I have specific to this ballpark, but look, I think every player has a ballpark that they're comfortable in and a ballpark that they're not, and a lot of times there's no rhyme or reason to it. Steven certainly has pointed to some things here that aesthetically he doesn't like so much, but I haven't heard those complaints from other guys.
Nor have I.
So he gets Gosselin. Here's Andrelton Simmons. Brave shortstop takes a strike. 30th time Simmons has hit 2nd this year for the Braves. He's at .242 for the season. And out of play, foul quickly. No balls, 2 strikes.
7 starts in this ballpark, and he's thrown a total of 28 innings. That includes an ejection. That includes a game where he wilted in the summer heat. Had to come out. Again, he may have a little chip on his shoulder tonight.
And when we saw him, Joe, up in Washington, we were told he was a different pitcher. Changed his mechanics a little bit and looked a lot more like the guy they drafted out of San Diego State.
Yeah, he was driving to the plate a little better instead of flying open. And he picked up some more speed on his velocity with his fastball again. Braves are having a lousy September. There's no getting around that. Started with a no-hitter thrown against them on the first day of September. But they've got to get it cranked up. It starts tonight.
And that ball was in the dirt. Ramos knocked it down after the swing and miss. And Strasburg adds to his league-leading strikeout total now. That's number 224. And his first of tonight's game. 2 outs.
Well, like you said, or like we've said, they've got to play, as Chip termed it, like their hair's on fire a little bit. But you know, there's a sense of urgency, not panic, but there's a sense of urgency. You gotta find a way night in and night out to get things done, and you know, like I said in the open, find a way to win ball games any way you can and make that series next week against Pittsburgh an important series.
And low and outside to Freddie Freeman. I misspoke earlier. Milwaukee and the Pirates don't play tomorrow night or tonight. They play this weekend. But those 3 games are hugely important. The Braves, if they win, can gain ground on one of those 2 clubs. Atlanta will play the Mets after Washington leaves.
Well, then you have Milwaukee playing St. Louis at some point during that time as well. So
yeah, this next weekend,
you know, those 3 teams can, maybe somebody can get pounded over the course of the next 6 to 9 days, and the Braves can take advantage of that.
But none of that matters, as you know, Tom, unless you win.
Right. Well, that's the thing. You gotta
put your W on the board.
That's what you're kind of looking at in your periphery vision. But yeah, I mean, all of those things, none of it matters unless you take care of your own business, what you can control, and that's these tonight and these next 6 games leading into the Pittsburgh series.
Freeman drives it out of play, foul for this Braves offense, which is struggling. Freddie Freeman is not struggling right now. He's the hottest hitter on the club with a 10-game streak. And he has clobbered the Nationals all year long. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that went into center field. A 2-out hit for Freeman. 11-game streak for Freddie. That's his 31st hit against Washington pitching this year. That's closing in on a record.
Breaking ball, and then he hit a knuckleball that kind of wilted as it got to the outfield. It had no spin on it after he hit it.
So as hot as Justin Upton was in August, he's just as cold in September. Maybe Turner Field will heat him up again. He's done great work in his home park. This one, jam job out to short, and that'll retire the side. No runs, a hit, a man left. We head to the 2nd inning. No score, game 1.
Washington and Atlanta, and for the 7th straight game, the Atlanta Braves are without Evan Gattis. The original diagnosis was strep throat, but I asked Freddie Gonzalez today if there were any further updates.
they're trying to figure out what's going on, and I don't have any more updates than that until he gets back or the doctors get back to our with our trainers. But he's in the doctor's offices right now and trying to figure out what the problem is.
So this has gone on now for 8 days, obviously longer, I think, than anyone anticipated originally. Reportedly, Evan Gattis got here about 6 o'clock to the ballpark tonight. Fellas, haven't heard anything yet, but of course, if I do, I'll get you the news.
Thank you very much, Jen. And losing Evan Gattis was a huge blow for the Braves on the road trip. He was really hoping to play down in Arlington against the Rangers, but no such luck. The Braves scored 6 runs in those 3 games. So here's LaRoche. The Washington first baseman's had a marvelous year. 6th in the league in homers, tied for 5th with 86 RBIs and a .261 average. He's having a big and productive September at the plate.
Be a free agent too, won't he? Signed a 2-year deal with them.
I think he is, yeah. Interesting to see how that plays out.
They have some decisions to make, not just next year, but coming up. As LaRoche swings and misses, Santana has his second strikeout. Ryan Zimmerman is taking batting practice, and he's ready to play in some rehab games, and they're hoping to activate him in time for the playoffs. How and where they use him is a big question mark for Matt Williams and the Nationals. Urban off to a good start, couple of strikeouts, and 4 up 4 down for Ian Desmond, the shortstop. He's been .252 for the year. The Braves have held him to a .203 head-to-head average. And that's what he likes to do. He is a swing hard, hit it hard guy. 22 homers, but 174 strikeouts. Ripped out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One question you have about the Nationals: if they play close games in the playoffs, will their defense keep them in the game? Some of that starts with Desmond, who's committed 23 errors this year. But an elite offensive player at shortstop for Washington. That's upstairs, no swing. And Joe, you're right. Adam LaRoche does have the potential free agency looming. There's a mutual option for Adam LaRoche with the Nationals for next year. This is in the last year of the 2-year portion of the deal. And that's at the knees, a call, 3rd strike.
Tell you what, Irvin is dealing with that fastball. He's been sitting on 95.
Free and easy, and whatever problems he had with his slider his last start don't seem to be apparent tonight. Locating his fastball in and out, up and down, and mixing in that slider. Pretty sharp so far.
As he made his way to the plate, I didn't see it. Did Harper avoid the A? I want to make sure that
it's like there's no scuff mark.
Yeah, it looks clean.
Okay. So far, so good. Harper at 270 for the year. Pops the first pitch out of play. Let's take a look. Yep, that white line was there for a reason. A little controversy the last time Washington was here. Harper dragged his foot across the A behind home plate. And fouled straight back, 0-2. Injury plagued season for Bryce Harper. You know about the thumb surgery, the hand problems. Still trying to get his strength back with regards to that. This is only Harper's 90th game of the year.
Hit that long home run off Craig Kimbrell the last game in Washington on Wednesday. Hit another home run in New York against the Mets over the weekend.
So that's an encouraging sign for Washington. Harper 5 for 15 on the road trip. And Santana just struck out the side. He is dealing. 3 up, 3 down, 6 up, 6 down for Irvin. Still scoreless in the second. Innings as he tries to pacify Washington in game 1 of the series. And all year long, Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. Steven Strasburg will face Hayward, Chris Johnson, and Christian Bethancourt here in the bottom of the second inning. Strasburg 11 and 11. He's making his 32nd start. 4 innings shy of 200 this season for the Nationals. Every passing inning for Strasburg is a new single season career high. Jason Hayward leads things off, takes a ball high. Jason 13 for 31 lifetime, 4 for 11 this year against Steven Strasburg. One of those hits a homer. And ball 2. That's hard hit toward left. Harper drifts back. He is on the running track. Number 1.
Harper didn't even run into the wall.
He's learning, Joe.
He's learning.
And the Braves have learned a thing or two about Steven Strasburg. It's easy to see why Atlanta's had such good luck against this man on the mound for the Nats.
Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot. The lineup, the 8 position players, a .313 average with 7 homers.
Deep short and through for Chris Johnson. A rough September for Chris, but homestand starts in good fashion. That's the second Braves hit.
Swing. whatever's happened to this point in September, if you can get this homestand started in a good way like that, you can quickly put it behind you. Get hot now. Everybody get hot right now.
Well, I mean, there's no, like we said, there's no sense worrying about what's happened or what you've been doing lately. You got to erase it all, worry about tonight, and find a way to win it and get some momentum going in the right direction for everybody.
Christian Bethancourt's the catcher again tonight. He bounces one toward Rendon. Big hop, perfect feed, and an around the horn double play retires the side. No runs, a hit, nobody left. We head to the third inning. Ramos, Cabrera, and Strasburg coming up, no score.
Fans, Tom Glavine bobblehead night is Wednesday, this Wednesday, September the 17th, when the Braves face their division rivals, the Washington Nationals. The first 20,000 fans through the gates take home this one-of-a-kind souvenir sponsored by Coca-Cola. Get your tickets today at Braves.com/tickets or call 1-800-745-3000.
You're doing your own bobblehead?
Hey, I just do what I'm told. They hand me the card, I read what's on there.
Hey folks, come on out. I've got a bobblehead I'm going to give away Wednesday night. Yeah. It's all about me. It's me actually on the bobblehead, and come on, first 20,000 you get a free me.
Free me. It is all about me Wednesday.
Well,
and most days in my life.
Thomas S. Glavine, the S stands for selfish.
Well, Chris just texted. That didn't take long.
Yeah, right.
Vouch for that.
As we head to the third inning, Wilson Ramos leads things off for Washington. 10 homers for Ramos.
I've seen the Hall of Fame change a person or two.
Well, hey, look, it's still, still fairly new. I can still dig myself for a little while.
Okay.
Statute of limitations is running out, but
yeah, until Wednesday. A swing and a miss by Ramos. Well, this guy's a really, really good player. But he's only in his 79th game for Washington. He just can't stay healthy. There are just guys in baseball that are snake bit like that. Ramos certainly qualifies as that.
Yeah, he's got the slider tonight, Tom. You're right. He's got good bite, good tilt to it.
Yeah, when you're getting it up there at 95, 96, they got to cheat a little to get that fastball, and you locate that slider. It's tough.
Pitch. A little off the plate. 96. He's throwing as hard tonight as he's thrown all year long.
Yeah, it's crisp coming out of his hand. Really nice.
bounced foul at the plate. Ramos still alive at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Irvin has had a marvelous year for the Braves. 14 wins, a 3.76 ERA. Just missed the corner. That was close. Full count. He's been money pitcher since the All-Star break too for Atlanta.
Yeah, he's been real good since the break.
And he lost Ramos, so leadoff walk. In fact, Santana's year for Atlanta is one of an historic nature. Since 1900, with the Braves franchise, these are the only pitchers with 14 or more wins and 150 or more strikeouts in their first season as a Brave. That goes all the way back, as you see, to Boston.
Pretty good company.
Yeah, real good company. Well, he was a good pickup. Certainly has lived up to it, and it'd be nice to see find a way for him to stick around.
Asdrubal Cabrera is the batter and takes a ball low. 1 ball, no strikes. Cabrera's road trip off to a slow start. He has 1 hit in his last 11 at bats. And Irvin missed again. Ball 2. Hitting .235 with the Nationals, and more importantly, in his 39 games now, he's made just 1 error.
Well, like I said, for a team that's been defensively challenged, that's a welcome addition.
Yeah, that's why we were getting word that Ryan Zimmerman might make a comeback. I asked Chip at the time, where's he going to play? Because since he's been out, their defense has been very good.
Adam Kilgore, fine beat writer for the Nationals in the Washington Post, has news on Zimmerman. That's caught on and missed. He's down in Vieira at the spring training complex. He's going to play in an inter-squad game tomorrow. Then he'll play, he'll do 3 innings at first base tomorrow. He'll play 5 innings on Wednesday. And then he'll be the full game DH on Thursday. And if all goes well, if his hamstring's okay, he could be back on the big league roster by as early as Friday when Washington plays the Marlins. That ball's fouled off Cabrera's body, and he'll hobble around with a 2-2 count.
Well, assuming all goes the way the Nationals would expect it to go, and they clinch a playoff spot here somewhere along the line, I mean, that would be a good opportunity, obviously, for them to bring Ryan in, get him some at bats in the outfield, get him some at bats at first base, and then obviously the problem for Matt Williams moving forward is, all right, we do get into the postseason, where's he going to play? And that certainly is a nice problem to have. And if worst case scenario, he's one of your bats on the bench,
yeah,
pretty nice guy to have on your bench.
Yes, he would be.
Injury-plagued season for Ryan Zimmerman. 53 games, that's it. Hamstring and then the broken thumb. 2-2 pitch. Full count. Leadoff walk to Ramos. Now a deep count to Asdrubal Cabrera here in the Washington third. No score. Game 1, Braves and Nationals tonight. In the air towards center. Long run up there, and he got there. What a grab by lifted. One of his best of the year. He took away a hit from his dribble Cabrera. 1 out.
He got an excellent jump on this, a sinking line drive. And it's almost like when he was diving, he was already kind of parallel to the grass, ready to slide and scoop that ball. That was an excellent play. Didn't spend a lot of time airborne diving for it.
So 1 out. Strasburg shows bunt and lays it down. Only one play, and Bethencourt makes it to first base. Sacrifice for Strasburg. Ramos at second for Denard Span. Told you earlier, Span second in the league in hits. Only one man ahead of him is Hunter Pence. He's 3 behind Hunter, who has 176 safeties this year. Span's also scored 93 runs. That's outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, this might be the unintentional intentional walk here. Lefty righty matchup. Span's had success against Santana. Rendon hasn't on deck. Gotta be smart about how you approach this at bat.
In the air down the right field line. Long run. Hayward still going. He can't get it. It's off the white chalk. And a run's going to score. Span has doubled home Ramos. That ball looked to bounce right on the white line. And Denard Span gives Washington a 1-0 lead.
Right on the inside.
So the first hit turns into the first run for the Nationals, and the leadoff walk scores Ramos. 38 doubles for Span, 35 RBIs. Now Rendon bats. As hot as he is, I wouldn't want to pitch to him either.
No, I agree, but that certainly may have gone into the thinking.
Ripped toward left. And Justin Upton's going to get there to retire the side. Rendon's 0 for 2. Denard Span's 1 for 2. A run scoring hit gives Washington a 3rd inning lead. 2-out run-scoring double gives the Nationals an early lead. B.J. Upton's in the lineup because he hit Steven Strasburg very well. Let's flash back with our SunTrust shining moment.
Yeah, Freddie Gonzalez said the last 2 weeks are going to be about matchups where he felt guys would have the most success, and that is B.J. against Strasburg with a lot of success. 2 homers this year off of him. And that one 5 days ago.
Inside for ball 1. 3 hits for Upton against Strasburg this year, as you just saw. 2 homers. 11 homers for the campaign. Upton, Santana, then Phil Gosselin. 2 balls and a strike.
That start against the Braves 5 days ago, he didn't walk anybody. He pitched a pretty good ball game. He did have a couple of dunkers drop in there. BJ took him deep, but 6 innings, he only gave up 7 hits and 3 runs while he was in there. No walks, struck out 8.
He hung a breaking ball there. Desmond played it to the side, and Upton's aboard to lead off the inning.
The married men off the left side of the infield.
Yes, you do. And you're happy he hit it on the ground and not in the air.
And then scored an infield hit for BJ, the 3rd Atlanta hit of the ball game. And now Santana a chance to bunt. He's laid down 7 successful sacrifices. Keep an eye on Upton too. He's got 19 steals. Short lead at first here. Ball outside. Something else about Strasburg, Joe. Power pitcher. You see his pitch count. You'd think it'd be awfully high. It hasn't been. He's been under 100 pitches almost every time out. In fact, over 100 pitches now. 1 time in his last 8 starts.
He's only gone 8 innings 1 time, Chip.
There's the bunt, and Rendon will take the out at first. Good sacrifice.
They monitor closely his pitch count. Job by Irvin against a real good fastball.
So Upton in scoring position for Phil Gosselin. He's riding a 3-game hit streak. Mentioned Gonzalez changing up the lineup tonight against Nationals right-hander. Leadoff spot is a slot Atlanta's got to solve somehow, some way. Phil's the 8th different man to bat first this year for the club.
Well, that's part of the side effects of not having Evan Gattis in your lineup. You got to move Jason down, give Justin some protection, or in that middle of the lineup, and force to take him out of that leadoff spot.
The Gosselin-Strasburg history goes back a few years. I showed you that last time we were in Washington. Those 2 faced off during collegiate ball, and Gosselin got the best of Strasburg on that day. Good breaking ball. Balls 2 strikes. In 2009, Gosselin hit a homer off Steven Strasburg.
Just need a base hit here. I mean, from here on out, the Braves.
Upton's going to try to move up on a ball in the dirt. He's going to be out by 3 feet.
He's looking in the dugout, but appeared to be out by a country mile. He split the glove.
Yeah, no touch.
That's what Upton saw as a light rain begins to fall at the ballpark. Upton very slowly making his way toward the Braves dugout. And Tim Timmons is asking Freddie Gonzalez, are you going to come out and challenge the call or not? And Hickok's at third. Gunned him out.
Yeah, that was reason for BJ to look in the dugout because he went around the tag.
Shot towards second. Cabrera's got it. And Strasburg is through 3 innings scoreless. Atlanta with 3 hits, down an early run. We go to the 4th.
Time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #SouthFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. And that's brought to you by AT.
I think there's a real good chance, Chip, that photo will be of Tom.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Well, I can't argue that. Here, you want to take a selfie real quick and we'll put it out there? No, let's not do that.
Yeah, you want to take a picture of this? Guess not.
Rain's coming down pretty hard tonight. It is a muggy evening at the 8 o'clock hour. The last thing we want to have is a rain delay with Washington. Were these the guys that were in town when we had that 3-hour and 40-minute debacle before first pitch?
I don't remember.
I believe they were.
Game ended at 2:29 in the morning. Braves lost that game if memory serves. Jason Worth leads off against Santana. He's down a run.
Yes, second game of the series.
Worth popped out to right to end the first inning. And strike.
Tom, one of the keys yesterday for Mike Minor, I said, was blinders. As it applied to the lack of offensive support for the pitchers. You just got to go do your job. Is that hard to do? Is that hard when you know how thin the runs have been?
It is. I mean, it's hard to totally eliminate it from your mind. I think you can do it a little bit easier if you get out there and you get going and you get off to a good start. And then I think you tend to not think so much about it. But
well hit to left. Upton on the run. On the track. Can't get it. It's off the base of the fence. And Worth into second with a stand-up double. 35 doubles for the bearded man, Jason Worth.
You know, I think you can't go out there pitching and assume your team's not going to score any runs. You know, you can't do that. But I do think you can get into a situation in games where you know, okay, this game's taking on that feel again. So there are going to be situations as you take a look at the pitch. Try to go inside. Didn't quite get it there, but there can be situations, this being one of them, where you gamble a little bit more to not let that run score than you otherwise might when you're thinking, hey, so what, maybe I give up one more run. I know my team's going to score 4. You can't necessarily pitch that way right now.
LaRoche hits, and at second, nobody out.
Because you've heard me say so many times as a pitcher, managing your innings, trading outs for runs, all those kinds of things. Well, right now, the way the offense is going, you can't necessarily pitch to trading outs for runs. You got to do everything you can not to give up those runs.
That's hammered to right. Hayward on the run is going to get there. Worth got tangled up with Andrelton Simmons. They were going to call interference on that play, but no harm, no foul. Worth's in safely on the line drive to right.
Andrelton's trying to get over to be the cutoff man, and Jason's trying to tag up and advance, and got in his way.
Yeah, that's a good lesson for kids, base runners out there. I don't think Jason tried to do it. It just happened. But those guys get anywhere near your vicinity, find a way to bump into them and try to draw that call.
Sure.
So the infield comes in for Ian Desmond, who took a called third strike, his first and only time up. Washington by a run. Popped up. Will it stay in play for Chris Johnson over near the railing? It will. He gets Desmond. 2 out.
You talked about his aggressiveness earlier, Chip, when you were talking about the way he swings, and when after a ball there on the first pitch, sometimes his aggressiveness gets him in trouble.
Here's an interesting story now. Bryce Harper is out of the game after 1 at bat. Remember, he struck out swinging in the second inning. After he struck out, he walked out in front of home plate and stood there with the bat between his legs for a moment. Don't know if that wrist or hand is hurting, but he gives way now to Nate Shearholtz with Worth at third and 2 outs.
Or his thumb. Could be his thumb again.
So Shearholtz with 2 outs. Strike 1.
Good pitch to start him off with there. Runner in scoring position. You're coming off the bench, looking fastball. Starting with an off-speed pitch.
And another. Good stop by Bethancourt. Ball in the dirt. And Shearholtz now a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Washington's run came across in the third inning. A leadoff walk to Wilson Ramos. Fly out and a sacrifice brought up Denard Span, who hit a fly ball down the right field line that bounced right off the foul line for a run scoring double. Shearholtz. Well, what a job by Santana to pitch around a leadoff double. The Nationals lose Bryce Harper, but they're leading this ball game 1-0. 2-run run. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Bryce Harper. Here's his last at bat.
Yeah, we watched between innings to see if we could pick anything up on this swing, and there wasn't anything readily apparent. A little anguish on his face, maybe from the strikeout, maybe because his thumb was bothering him. Hard to say. His gloves off and actually had a laugh with the bat boy.
So
maybe it wasn't the at bat. I don't know.
Wait word from the Nationals PR staff. Shearholtz takes over in left. And Braves will have Simmons, Freeman, and Upton coming up. Hamilton struck out his first time up. Strasburg has had first inning troubles all year tonight at none. A 2-out hit. He's got single hits in each of the first 3 innings. Strasburg working economically again tonight. Just coming in for an even count.
Might have been a purpose pitch there. I don't think he liked the swing that Anderson took before and kind of stared in at him as he got another baseball back.
And that one taken high. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the first big swing by Simmons in the sequence. This one popped up right side. LaRoche handles the raindrops and makes the play for the first out. So after the big swing by Simmons, here was the second pitch.
Target down and away, but maybe a little reminder. Anderson was taking some really good cuts in the cage today, hitting the ball to right center. When you start taking that big, strong, powerful home run type swing against a guy throwing 95 plus, hard to catch up.
So Ramos out for a quick chat with Strasburg as Freeman stands in. Freddie hit a 2-strike pitch for the first Braves hit. That's taken low, ball 1. Hit for Freeman, his 31st this year against the Nationals. That's the subject of our Home Depot tools from the dugout. He's closing in on a record.
Yeah, the most hits in a season by any opponent. Rafael Furcal back in 03 had 32 hits against the Expos, and Freddie one away from that. That's since 1966. He tied Rico Carty tonight.
Contrast that with the struggles he's had against Miami, and that's the kind of thing that just makes you scratch your head and wonder why things happen the way they do in this game.
Well, that's why when the Braves were 4th in the league in runs scored last year, next to last this year, makes you scratch your head too.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Good cut. Ripped straight back. Best fastball for Strasburg tonight. That one at 98. Strasburg 0-3 this year against the Braves. Leads by a run tonight. 2-2. Good eye. Make him work. off-speed pitch, and Freeman didn't get it. 2 outs.
If that was off speed or just kind of a BP fastball. 91 miles an hour, had a little sink on it.
So 224 strikeouts for Strasburg. And he works with the bases empty for Justin Upton. What a luxury it must be to say, well, my off-speed pitch is 91.
I guess I'll have to take his word for it. I don't know.
So Sharp, he's pitched economically, just 2 strikeouts. He's got a lead. In the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. Justin hoping to crack the 100 RBI mark for the first time in his career. He's at 96 this season. And a little pop towards second is handled by Cabrera. And Strasburg has another 1-2-3 inning. This one in the Braves' 4th. He's due 3rd in the 5th. 1-0 Nationals lead it. Score a run in the ball game so far tonight. He's the Nationals catcher. He's also the subject of tonight's Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of an advantage in that Evan hasn't played in the last week. Hopefully whatever tests they ran on Evan today will prove to be something they can get corrected and knocked out right away and get him back on the field. The Braves miss him.
Jen's report earlier tonight, Gaddis arrived at the ballpark around 6 o'clock today after being examined by the doctors. 1-0 pitch to Ramos is hit high in the air, left center field and deep. Upton on the run. He won't get there. Wilson Ramos hits a solo home run. And that makes it a 2-0 Washington game. His 11th long ball of the year.
That fooled me.
Holy smokes. He had to reach for that pitch and the top hand came off the bat. And the big man still hit it out. How he had to reach for that. That's some strength right there, folks.
So his 8th homer since August the 4th. And He scored both Washington runs. 2-0 game. As Drupal Cabrera bats, he was robbed by B.J. Upton, who made a marvelous sliding catch in the third. To second, and the peg to first in time for the first out of the inning. You know, not every team is built through free agency or through the amateur draft. Tom Rizzo's the general manager of the Nationals. He's made some terrific deals. One of them involved Wilson Ramos. He came over from the Minnesota Twins for Matt Capps. That was at the trade deadline in 2010. Ramos can stay healthy and stay on the field. He is some kind of receiver and some kind of hitter.
That was very impressive what he did a moment ago.
Yeah, I did not think that ball was gone. I don't know if it was how it came off the bat or just seeing his swing, but I didn't think it was going.
His career high in homers is 16. That occurred last year, and he played just 78 games. That's why they'd love to see what he could do over 110 or 115 as a veteran catcher now. Most games he's played is 113. That was back in 2011. It was his first full major league season.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He's the guy that got kidnapped a couple of winters ago, right?
November 9th through 11th, 2011. He was abducted for 51 hours. Was freed in the remote mountains near Montalban in Venezuela by the Venezuelan government. So Strasburg walks. The good of that is on a humid night he has to run the bases.
Exactly.
Rain picks up again.
Span has an RBI double. He knocked in Ramos for the first Washington run. This muggy night finally got word on what was ailing Bryce Harper. He left with what was called lightheadedness. Word from the Nationals training room. And Span a strike. Even count. The Braves have found out when they play Washington. That's what the rest of the league finds out. They score first, they usually win with their starting pitching and a much improved bullpen. Washington has a 61-20 record when they score the first run of the game. Outscored their opponents, including tonight's play, by a whopping 120 runs. The Braves have been outscored this year by 3 runs.
4 is a key number for them too. 69-9 when they score 4 runs.
Little roller off the thumbs. Freeman will fire to second. They'll force Strasburg. And Span trades places with him at first base with 2 outs. And now Rendon bats. Rendon, a strikeout victim in the first, to fly to left. Third inning.
That's one of those plays that you're kind of danged if you do and danged if you don't. If he takes the out at first base, you keep a fast runner off the bases and you keep the pitcher out there to continue to run. But he's in scoring position. Well, now you've still got the fast runner on, and he's liable to steal second and get into scoring position anyway.
Span with 31 steals this year measures off a pretty big lead at first.
I won't mind seeing him challenge Betancourt.
And he's due to throw somebody out. Christian's 0 for 7. catching base stealers. And up and in. 1 ball, no strikes. This man's going to be a thorn in the Braves and the rest of the East Side for a long time. He's a good looking player. Strong arm, nimble feet, real quick bat. Known out of Rice University. Sixth overall pick in the 2011 draft. Balls and a strike. Rendon turned 24 in early June. He needed just 79 games in the minor leagues before he got to the show.
I think that was enough.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys we talk about being rushed. I wish they'd waited a little longer on him.
I wish the Braves would have signed him.
They tried.
Atlanta drafted him when he was a high school player. Went to college instead. Two-one pitch. And a close play. Springer just back in time.
Might have been leaning a little bit there too.
Well, now you got to make a pitch and not worry about the running game.
Moving now with a full count.
Struck him out first time up.
Runner goes. Pitch hit high in the air toward left, but not deep enough. It's under and has it. And that retires the side. But Ramos, with a very impressive show of strength, has homered to make it 2-0 Nats in the fifth.
Chris Johnson due up second in this inning for the Braves, and he missed the last couple of games and took the time, he told me, to work on his swing, try to get some things straightened out. One thing specifically he talked about, and Joe, I'm going to bring you in here on the video, is keeping that front shoulder back and not pulling it.
Yeah, when he's flying open, Jen, with his inside-out swing, that just defeats the purpose of what he's trying to do. Slows everything down, his bat drags, and he's not able to inside out the ball like he likes. When he keeps that front shoulder tight in there like he did on that swing in his first time up, he's tough to retire. Hopefully he can use that as a springboard to a good finish.
Chris Du's second after Jason Hayward leads off the Braves fifth. 2-0 Washington now. Pittsburgh getting a couple of early runs tonight. Run support has been a problem for him at times with the Nationals, believe it or not. Got Hayward to fly out to left back in the Braves second inning.
We talked about a few weeks ago, guys, about Jason. I was hoping he might move that left foot closer to home plate. Well, I think he has. In fact, he's real close to having his back foot on the line that separates home plate from the left-handed batter's box. So he's a little closer to home plate. And Greg Walker told me today.
Line into right field. That ball was smoked.
They're trying to get him to separate his hands a little bit too away from his body, but not until he strides that it works together, and that then he can let his hands work as he did on that swing, and that's why he's been pulling the ball more. That was pretty good harmony right there.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Now that you mention it, Joe, I can't remember the last time Jason really got jammed. Remember early in the season he'd almost get himself out. Doesn't happen much. Well, let's see if Chris Johnson's extra work pays off as that ball gets away from LaRoche and goes down by the top. Hayward's around second. He'll make it to third without a throw. All helps appreciated. Hayward 90 feet away with nobody out.
Well, Joe, you talked about any little thing bothering him here, certainly in this ballpark. We'll see if that's the thing that sets him off. Up behind the runner. It's tough for that first baseman to get over behind the runner and get that ball.
It's a throwing error on Strasburg. Chris Johnson with some contact would cut the lead in half.
This is a spot that killed him in Texas. They'd get a guy to third base, couldn't get him in. Didn't feel his back. Anything other than a ground ball back to the pitcher ought to work.
Well, I know we're in a day and age where nobody seems to care about strikeouts anymore, but this is certainly one of those cases where choke up, shorten up, put the ball in play. They're giving you a run. Find a way to get it in here.
This was what Atlanta did with runners in scoring position on their just completed road trip.
And that's even actually, as sad as that is, it's better than they are for the month of September, which is $1.95. 17 for 87 in the month.
No contact. Braves were 1 for 11 with runners at third base against the Rangers. 1 for 11. Rowe for 1 tonight. Johnson strikes out. Third strikeout for Strasburg. Bethancourt swung at the first pitch in the second inning and bounced into a 5-4-3 double play.
Christian has a nice, simple, basic swing with excellent balance. Doesn't stride very far. Got strong hands. But like any young player, when you get to the big leagues, you struggle with some off-speed stuff, and that's what's plagued him at times. Another good stop by Ramos.
Well, most guys get here because they can handle a fastball.
Yep.
You know, and it's once you get here, that's the first big adjustment. Can you handle the off-speed stuff?
Good rip at a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. 2-1 the count. This game get down to the pitcher's spot. You see the importance from Freddie Gonzalez's chair. Get a chance to score, you better take advantage of it. Santana might be an early hook. Ground ball to third. Rendon at the bag. Fires to first in time. A strikeout and a ground out. Runner at third. 2 out.
Tell you what, Rendon, he may not be conventional with his throwing motion, little sidearm, but he can fire it across the diamond.
So Upton is the hitter as you check out the arm of Rendon.
Little sidearm, but it's got some heat on it.
Long run worth. He is not going to get there, but it's foul. Upton's bid for an extra base hit and an RBI. Foul down the right field line. Strike one.
Span's hit on the chalk. BJ's bounced foul. Let's see where they went with this. Pretty much had a lot of the plate. When BJ's hurt him, it's been on pitches down and in. So far, so good for Strasburg, pitching around his own throwing error. Still got to make a good pitch to get out of the inning.
One ball, 2 strikes. Was almost in the catcher's glove. But stayed alive. 1 and 2 strikes.
I think he surprised Strasburg on 2 swings in this. And that one that he fouled down the line, and that one right there, because he thought maybe he had the fastball by him, out away from him a little bit. And BJ has spoiled both. Almost hit a double with one.
Strasburg pitches around a leadoff hit and a 2-base throwing error. A couple of strikeouts in the home 5th. And then his offensive frustrations continue in a 2-0 game. Strasburg in the 5th. Runner at 3rd, nobody out. Could not push across their first run tonight. Country music fans, hope you'll join us here tomorrow. Cole Swindell will perform after the Braves-Nationals game for the final show of the summer concert series, brought to you by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. VIP field passes are still available for the show. They're just $20 each. Get them today at Braves.com/concerts. It's my understanding, too, fellas, that tomorrow night is also Toga night at the ballpark.
Oh, yeah. Toga Tuesday?
Toga Tuesday.
Huh. All right.
So you can break out your inner Niedermeyer, and you and all your sick Delta buddies can come on out for Toga Tuesday between the Braves and the Nationals.
Tom, are you singing in the concert? Are you doing a number?
No. If it was Wednesday night, I might. It's Wednesday nights about me.
Yeah.
Right?
There's always the anthem.
Yeah.
So Toga Tuesdays and Dig Me Wednesdays, your highlights
Yep.
for this series with the Nationals. Here's Jason Worth. Worth is 1 for 2 with a double. Maybe this is a stretch, maybe not. 1991, so much was made, and rightfully so, of Sid Bream, Rafael Belliard, and Terry Pendleton coming to Atlanta and legitimizing this Braves franchise, and really changing, Tommy, as you know, your fortunes on the pitcher's mound with their great work defensively. I think you can make the case for Jason Worth coming over from the Phillies and what he has brought to the Nationals. They use the term, marketing-wise, natitude. I think this is the guy that's really helped formulate that for the Washington Globe.
Well, you're looking to make that next step as an organization. You got to bring guys over that are winners, and certainly when Jason came over, he was part of a winning Philadelphia team. He brings that, that demeanor, that that mantra, I guess, and
swagger,
swagger,
legitimacy.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you got to, you have to bring those pieces over and start somewhere, and he was one of them for sure.
Guy on deck, part of that too, kind of helps provide some of that leadership. He's a winner.
Stung. With that beautiful red glove, Irvin Santana just robbed Jason Worth.
It's red on the outside and glowing on the inside. That rocket. Nice grab.
There's the first out in the 6th inning, and LaRoche the hitter. Adam 0 for 2. And look out. Nice honor for Adam LaRoche today. He was named the National League East's finalist for the Marvin Miller Man of the Year Award. Adam works tirelessly with the Wounded Warrior Project.
Congratulations to him.
Absolutely. You like hearing those stories. We don't hear enough of them. A lot of guys doing a lot of good things, and he's certainly been that guy with the Nats.
We were talking earlier about LaRoche and whether he'll be a national next year or not. If we decide to let him go, I can think of a team in the East that would probably love to have a good hitting, slick fielding first baseman. That's the Marlins.
I know that's high on their shopping list for next year already.
I don't know if I'd like to see this guy hitting behind Giancarlo Stanton or not. All of baseball, I'm sure, hopes Giancarlo's recovery is going well for the Miami Marlins. That was just an awful scene against Milwaukee. It's pretty much ended the Marlins' run. They were playing really good baseball and thought they had a chance to catch the Braves and make a move, but he went down. Their fortunes faded quickly. In the air toward left center. That's curling away from B.J. Upton, but he'll get there in time. LaRoche is retired. 2 outs. Well, Santana, for the most part, has handled the big names on the lineup card. It's the Nationals catcher, Wilson Ramos, that's given him the most trouble tonight. He scored both Washington runs.
Also makes them tough. They're offensively, they're a deep lineup. A lot of guys that can hurt you.
As can this man, Ian Desmond. 3 consecutive 20 homer, 20 steal seasons in Washington. Oh, 2. Irvin started the night needing 8 strikeouts to get to 1,500. He has struck out 5 to this point. 4 of his first 6 outs were via the whiff.
Yeah, I doubt that he's going to get there tonight because his spot comes up first in the bottom of the inning, and they'll probably pinch hit for him.
The Braves need runs. They're down 2-0. That's strikeout number 6. Perfect inning for Santana. Bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Nationals.
Look at our Synovus greatness made here, and you see there's a history between Phil Gosselin and Steven Strasburg, one the two of them probably will never forget. 2009 NCAA Regionals, first inning, first pitch. Gosselin took Strasburg deep. He suffered his only loss of that year. Strasburg then pitching for San Diego State. That's one Phil Gosselin says he gets asked about an awful lot, as you can imagine.
Well, Joe, you're right. Thank you, Jen, for that report. Let's hope Costanza, who pinch hits for Irvin Santana, can reach. Maybe history can repeat here in Atlanta. It's still a manageable game, but runs for Atlanta awfully tough to come by. They have yet to score. They have 4 hits against Strasburg, who has yet to beat Atlanta this year. Strasburg probably says, yeah, he was swinging the aluminum bat. Gosselin probably says, yeah, it was a real heavy baseball, though.
Yeah, I didn't get it. I got jammed.
No balls, 2 strikes. I remember a couple of years ago, before Les Strasburg had been drafted, we were in San Diego. Joe and I were talking to the late great Tony Gwynn, who coached at San Diego State, found Steven Strasburg, and we were talking with Tony about this kid's repertoire, and he said he's got it all. As Costanza swung at a ball in the dirt and is tagged out for the first out. Then we asked an interesting question. Tony, go ahead. Did you get in the cage against Steven Strasburg? Can you remember what Tony said, Joe?
I do not.
No, I'm not getting in the cage against that guy. It's probably the only time Tony Gwynn didn't want to face hard-throwing pitcher like Steven Strasburg.
I'm curious why Costanza turned around and didn't run. Swung and missed. Ball was in the dirt. Started to run and then didn't.
Last 4 outs for Strasburg, 3 of them via strikeout. Now Gonsolin leads the charge with 1 out. He's popped out to center and bounced out to second. Steven has been in total command tonight. Rockies have gotten 4 hits. They've gotten 2 men in scoring position. Best chance last inning. Runner at third, nobody out. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Ryan Jordan on Braves Live has been calling for the last 3-4 weeks. Little things, small ball, fundamental ball. And it couldn't make contact to the right side of the infield to pick up a run last time up. Ground ball to short. Desmond to his left has it. He throws a fastball to first. 2 out. Taking away the 4 Atlanta hits, by my count, Braves have only hit 2 balls out of the infield. Everything else has been on the ground, on the air in the infield, or in the glove of Ramos. That's how commanding Strasburg has been tonight. What did that hit?
Shin guard, maybe?
Wow.
Went off the shoulder pad. All the umpires checking on him, and he says he's okay. It must have taken the force of the blow.
Upstairs for Simmons. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another one.
Tim Timmons getting rocked this inning. Coming off the mask.
I wonder if Ramos turned around and said, I'm glad that wasn't me.
Anderson tweaked his ankle a little on that one.
One ball, 2 strikes. And a shot down the right field line. That's going to get down. Worth over in the corner. Slides onto the warning track. Andrelton Simmons has it to out double. We saw signs of this down in Texas the last couple of games. Andrelton making a conscious effort to hit the ball to the right side. And he's rewarded here with his 16th double.
I'm a little more on the side of Tom here, who noticed him tweaked his ankle perhaps on the swing before. He may have had to cut down on his swing because of the pain and the lack of strength in his ankle. If that's the case, then so be it. It was a good swing.
Could be a very important swing for Freddie Freeman, the hottest Braves hitter, and a man that's clobbered Nationals pitching all year, represents the tying run. Braves have their 3rd runner in scoring position tonight. Let's see what, if anything, they give Freeman with 2 outs. Yeah, knees at 96. 2.
Dare throw him 3 straight fastballs?
He might. I'll try to outthink him a little bit.
Be off the plate or upstairs.
Deuce is wild down for Freddie. Base runner would be taken happily. Justin Upton's the next man up.
Well, he knows that Freddie's been hot. If he didn't know, then shame on him for not doing his homework. But you know he did. He's got a base open. It would represent the tying run. Justin's cold and a right-handed hitter. Let's see if he gives in. He did. Fastball.
I don't know if I'd call it giving in when you can get it up there at 96, 97, though.
Yeah.
42 of Strasburg's 77 pitches have been 95 miles an hour or faster tonight. Earlier about the mechanical adjustment. It's paid off. And a breaking ball is a high strike 3 call, and Freeman snaps his bat, and he's thrown out of the game. Freeman snapped his bat, slammed it at the plate, and was immediately ejected by Tim Timmons. And Freddie Gonzalez can't believe the quick hook.
Nor can I.
You could get fined for throwing your equipment. Freddie's got 2. That's a quick hook.
The bat snapped, and so did the Braves' first baseman. He and the manager ejected after 6. An awful lot of this year. Not 1 but 2 ejections on the conclusion of one fateful play in the Atlanta 6th.
I don't think this breaking ball ever had the plate. Frustration from Freddie. And Freddie Gonzalez out to defend his player.
So Joey Tardoslavich takes over for the Braves at first base. The irony of this is Freddie Freeman leads the majors in innings played, 1,343 of them. A franchise record for innings played in the field by one player in a single year is 1,447 1/3. So Freddie's roughly away from Andrew Jones' record set in 1999. Andrew started all 162 games for the Braves 15 years ago. So Tardoslavich, the new first baseman, Luis Avilan, the new pitcher for the Braves. Tough luck start for Irvin Santana. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, and trailing 2-0.
Yeah, that was very, very unfortunate. It appeared to be ball 4. They had Upton up there with tying runs aboard.
So this is Nate Shearholtz, his second at bat in the ball game. Remember, he checked in for Bryce Harper, who left after 3 innings or so. He was feeling lightheaded. Shearholtz struck out to end the Washington 4th. And scored runs in the 3rd and the 5th. Ramos scored them both, and he'll hit next. Shearholtz signed a minor league contract with the Nationals on August 18th. Been around a while, most recently with the Cubs. And swing and miss.
Which game was it in Texas, Chip, where the Rangers got 3 hits and won the game? Was it game 2?
That was game 2. How many hits does Washington have tonight?
Yeah.
Has actually out hit the Nationals 5-3. That's off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 37 times this year Atlanta has been held to 1 run or less in a ball game. 55 times they've been held to 2 or less. Real pain of that is Braves are 102, 103 quality starts by their starting pitchers this year.
Yeah, that's the crazy part with coming out of spring training with all the pitching injuries. You would have thought that was going to be the part of the game that you were going to struggle and have to piece together, but those guys have been fantastic.
And that's taken high. Avilan walks the first man he's assigned. And all the umpires in the crowd are hollering at Tim Timmons saying, wait a minute. If strike 3 was good for Freddie Freeman, why wasn't that a strike for Shearholtz?
Avilan walked the only man he faced in Texas 3 days ago, too. That was up.
That was a better pitch than the one to Freeman.
It sure was.
Well, here's Darth Vader and spikes for the Nationals tonight. Wilson Ramos. He's walked, homered, and scored 2. One ball at someone would be welcome. Despite only 302 at bats coming into play tonight, Ramos is tied for their team lead in double plays. He's batted into 16 of them. Another question for you guys. No matter the outcome of this inning for Luis Avilan, I think an area of frustration for the Braves this year, besides the offense, has been the left side of the relief corps. It's fouled away. It was hoped that Johnny Venters would be back in the second half of the season as he was trying to come back from his second Tommy John surgery. That obviously didn't happen. He's going to have a third Tommy John operation. Avilan has had an up and down year in relief too.
Yeah, he's lost something off his fastball for whatever reason. Last year at his best, when he was really rolling, he was sitting on 94, 95 and had some good action on it too.
That's in the air to center. B.J. Upton on the run is going to get there. AJ's had one of his better nights defensively tonight. Nice running catch to retire Ramos for the first time. 1 out. Here's Cabrera. Cabrera's hitting 2. 14 double plays this year. 3 with the Nationals, 11 with the Indians. And a strike. Miami leads the Mets tonight 3-2. Jacob deGrom starting that game for New York. At one point had 12 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts in the first 9 outs of the game. Miami's come back to lead in New York. Reds and Cubs, no score, bottom 3. Dodgers 2, Colorado 1. Boy, big series for the Dodgers. They won a series against the Giants. LA extends its lead in the National League West to 3 full games over the Giants. San Francisco's in Arizona tonight. Buster Posey, 26 RBIs in his last 22 games. Making a late push for the MVP award.
He couldn't do it by himself against the Dodgers. Greinke and Kershaw really put the press on him the last 2 games.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
And then later on tonight as well, the Phillies are in San Diego. See if Jonathan Papelbon can prevent himself from channeling his inner Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that was an ugly scene yesterday by both he and Joe West.
Runner first goes. Bethancourt's throw, a laser, and an easy tag out by Gosselin. And there's the first man thrown out by Christian this year. His fans are going to love watching this kid catch and throw for a long time.
That was actually a hit and run. Sherholtz was looking at home plate all the way to second base. A bit of a late start, and he was out a mile.
Ground ball fair down the left field line by Cabrera. So the caught stealing looms large. It's a 2-out double. And Cabrera in at second base. And Steven Strasburg up again. Real big games, fellas, tonight are in the American League. Tigers are rolling. They're winning 5-0 in Minnesota. White Sox 3, Kansas City 0 in the 3rd. Later on, Seattle plays the Angels. And the Indians trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. They're down 2-1 to Houston at Minute Maid Park in the 3rd. Lots of baseball still to be decided. 6 teams within 5 games of the 2 wild card spots in the American League. As Strasburg is single to center field. Here comes Cabrera around 3rd. Upton loads up. His throw will be well off target. And Steven Strasburg has an RBI hit. His 2nd RBI of the year, and it's 3-0.
Right down the middle. Thanks to Bethancourt erasing the leadoff walk. Looked like Avilan might be in good shape to get through the inning. But the pitcher single, who also walked earlier tonight against Santana, drives in a run.
He's going to need 4 runs at least to win tonight. Braves have scored 4 runs or more. And that one clipped Span on the way by. And he flips the bat away in disgust. Braves have scored 4 runs or more 4 times in their last 15 games. And Avilan clipped Span on the hip. And Carlos Tosca makes his way to the center of the diamond. And that is all for Avilan. Ruiz did not pitch effectively in the 7th. A walk, a double, a single, and another Washington run across. 3-0 your score.
This might be the right guy they have on the mound for them to start this homestand off as well with those home numbers.
And Santana just struck out the side. He is dealing. In the air towards center. Long run out there. And he got there. What a grab by B.J. Upton. Right back where it came from, and that one stung. With that beautiful red glove, Irvin Santana just rocked Jason Worth. And those are our great clips of the game. As Washington leads by a 3-0 count. Former National farmhand Juan Jaime, the new Atlanta pitcher. 2 on, 2 out. And Rendon, the hitter, he's 0 for 3 tonight.
As we've said many times about Juan, it's all about his command. Comes in throwing strikes. He's awfully tough because he throws hard.
One and 2 for Rendon. Single runs for the Nationals in the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th. They also caught the Braves in the hit column with 2 here in the 7th. Hits at 5 apiece.
And the first 4 were all extra base hits.
Swing and a miss by Rendon. Didn't get a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Another run charged to Luis Avilan. It's the home 7th. 3-0 Washington. face Upton, Hayward, and Chris Johnson. Time for tonight's AT Universe trivia question. Steven Strasburg leads the league with 229 strikeouts, including 6 tonight. Name the last National or Expo with 240 strikeouts or more in a single season.
Pedro. Always go to Pedro.
Yeah. Pedro, Brent Smith, Steve Rogers. Randy Johnson was an Expo, but he might have had 240 strikeouts and walks if you combine the totals.
Yes.
In his younger days.
Jeff Facero.
Mark Langston.
Langston's a good call.
Yeah.
Missed the Expos.
About Javi Vasquez.
Another great call. So plenty of names that we threw out at you. We'll see if Tom gets some help on his cell phone as we.
Wow. That is the pot calling the kettle black right there.
As Justin Upton leads off and takes the ball.
How many times do I text you the answer when you're on the road and I'm home watching?
Never. Oh. Your number's been blocked. 1-0 pitch. And in for a strike. Boy, Strasburg's been very, very efficient tonight. He is a different man tonight against Atlanta in this ballpark. We know how Turner Field has been a house of horrors for him. Very clean work for the Nationals right-handers, still throwing in the low to mid-90s. Only 81 pitches so far through 6 innings.
Could be the luxury of having a big lead and just saying, you know what, I'm just going to go out there and relax and pitch and not think about it.
Popped up. Desmond at short. And we'll have plenty of room to make the catch. There's out number 1. Again, this was the storyline tonight for the Braves, who wanted to kick off this homestand in good shape. Last 4 outings for Strasburg here in Atlanta were great for the Braves.
Yeah. Another side of that about cruising tonight, and I guess it goes hand in hand when we feel like he's pitching a better ball game tonight, which he is. But when the Braves had a runner at third, nobody out, and they didn't score, what would have been a tying run, there's been no pressure on him tonight.
No, there hasn't been. And that's, well, you talk about June swoons or September swoons, whatever month you want to pick. That's the most frustrating thing for me. Look, you got swept by the Texas Rangers. They're a bad ball club. They're injury riddled.
It was a AA and AAA team.
Yeah.
And Adrian Beltre.
With the exception of Holland in Game 1. Although it was only his 3rd or 4th start back from injury. But there was just nothing clicking offensively for the Braves. Nothing this month. As we mentioned about Texas with Adrian Beltre, the Braves right now, it's Jason Hayward and Freddie Freeman offensively. They're doing most of the damage for the Braves. It's not enough.
It's tough to win with 1 or 2 guys in your lineup that are hot.
Hayward was that fateful man left at third base in the 5th inning in what was then a 2-0 game. Strasburg rocks and fires with a 2-2, and it's pulled. LaRoche, slick play, race to the bag, and Strasburg wins it. Good play by LaRoche. Good lead. There's out number 2.
Another good swing by Jason.
But here are the numbers. There's no way to sugarcoat it. They're the cold hard facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. These were the batting averages for some of the Braves offensive players in the month of September.
This is coming into tonight. Andrelton Simmons is at the top of that list, and he's not proud of that.
No.
So you can imagine how the other guys feel. Chris was 3 for 33 in the month coming into play tonight.
Second inning single, but his 5th inning at bat might be the key at bat in the game. a strike.
Yeah, and let me correct myself. It was 2-0 at that point. That runner at third would not have been the tying run.
Yeah, but you cut it to a 1-run game, and you know where one mistake changes everything. A lot different pitching with a 2-run lead than a 1-run lead.
Especially when you can throw as hard as this guy can. Just dial it up.
Inning over. 7 strikeouts for Steven Strasburg. 7 shutout innings and a 3-0 lead.
Game. We have the AT fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to #SouthFanPhoto for a chance for it to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Hey, there we go.
Of course.
I love it.
Way to go, Rachel.
That's shameless.
It really is.
Oh, boy.
Got it all going on around the HOF.
Well, it's your year, Tommy. Congratulations again.
Yeah. Thank you.
And that beautiful family having a good time tonight. Those leather-lung fans trying to get something going for Atlanta, which trails 3-0 heading to the 8th. Worth, LaRoche, and Desmond coming up. Washington's magic number entering this series was 4. If they win tonight, their magic number to win the East will be 2. That means if they win one more game in this series in Atlanta, they own the division. They said earlier in the week they have bigger fish to fry than just the East. They want home field advantage throughout the National League portion of the playoffs. They want the best record in the senior circuit. Right now, they own that mark by a half game over the Dodgers. Now tonight, 18,220. Washington does play a lot of games with Miami, you'll recall. In fact, they have 8 games left with the Marlins, 2 more with the Braves, and then 3 with the Mets. We were hoping those 8 games with the Fish would be very important games for the Braves. And the Marlins are now without Giancarlo Stanton. He's on pace to win the MVP, perhaps, in the National League, although Dodger fans say that's still very much an open question. And their star, Clayton Kershaw. Full count from Juan Jaime. And a base on balls, and that's the question for Juan. Throws hard, but his aimage at times leaves a bit to be desired. Walk to lead off the 8th. Here's LaRoche.
Adam doesn't have a hit tonight, but he's been swinging the bat great, and he has not been missing too many fastballs. He's on your fastball, no matter how hard you throw, he's a tough out.
Carlos Tosca, the acting manager for the Braves, with the ejection of Freddie Gonzalez and Freddie Freeman. Wow, a 2 Freddie ejection. Don't see that too often. 3-0 your score. We continue with the 8th after this.
Presented by the Georgia Lottery, Toyota, and AT&T, mobilizing your world.
It is 3-0. Washington continues to hit here in the 8th inning. And in keeping with our Tom Glavine theme, like it for this. Of course, dear Tom Glavine will be with us for the rest of this series here in Atlanta on Sports South. Game 2 tomorrow. Guess which game comes Wednesday? Game 3. You got it. Coverage starts at 6:30 Eastern for both games only on Sports South. I gotta ask you, do you have a special case built for the bobblehead?
I do not.
I mean, Joe and I were talking about that about 2 weeks ago. Put that right in front of the Cy Young, the Hall of Fame plaque.
Yeah, could do that.
LaRoche bats and has a big swing at this. This is Jason Shreve.
He's done a good job when he's come in. His second trip to the big leagues this year in his 9th game. 2 walks, 11 strikeouts in 8 innings. Not bad. Low 90s with a good breaking ball.
And it's the low 90s part that was late in coming. He took a little of Tommy's advice, too much to heart, right?
Yeah, see, it goes to show you I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we've been meaning to talk to you about that.
Well, can't tonight. Well, you better get it tonight because Wednesday you can't.
Oh, that's right. Bob Fly back to the press box. How to play 1 and 2.
That's a good point about knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are. Listening to a guy who has great knowledge to share with you and being able to decipher what he knows that can help you and how his game might be different than yours.
Well, that's what my dad always told me. It doesn't hurt to listen to anybody. You got to figure out what works for you.
That was some of the best advice I got when I first signed. Was there's going to be a lot of people telling you how to hit, telling you what you're doing right or wrong, and it's up to you to figure out what works best for you.
Was that ever a case for you, Tommy, as a young major league player? Lots of voices in your ear telling you those things Joe was talking about?
Absolutely. You know, and it's all good pitch right there for the strikeout. But you know, I mean, it's all good intention. You know, you know, I know when I got to the big leagues, there was a lot of veteran guys around, and you know, all those guys were interested in helping you and helping you get better. And you know, there is a lot of information out there, but like you say, sometimes there can be a little bit too much, but you got to figure out what works.
So Shreve strikes out Adam LaRoche, and he did his job. Carlos Tosca matching up with Washington. Game still within reach for Atlanta, but it's a 3-0 score here in the 8th.
The Home Depot, and Zaxby's Indescribably Good.
Top of the 8th continues. 1 on, 1 out. 3-0. Washington has the lead in Game 1. And friends, the most popular way to follow the September pennant races is with Tom Glavine and MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, our MLB.TV game of the day, and a whole lot more. Get at Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com.
Good spot for Gus Schlosser here. He came in yesterday, worked the 8th inning, gave up 2 hits, but he got a ground ball double play, something that he gets a lot of when he's starting in the minor leagues, and something he needs to be kind of counted on to do, be able to do on occasion in the big leagues.
Positives for the Braves this year. It's been another outstanding season for Roger McDowell and the Braves bullpen, collectively speaking. Yes, the left side has struggled from time to time. The Braves relief corps has done very, very good work. Their highest ERA for a full month this season was 3.42 as opposed to play at first. Would love to show off that arm. That was in June. Won 5, lost 4, and saved 12 of 15 games. That man at the back end and Craig Kimbrell. That solves a lot of your relief problems.
Sure does.
Of course, David Carpenter. He'd spent some time on the list with the biceps problem, but he's come back throwing well. David Hale's been a fine swingman for the Braves. Work by Jordan Walden. Anthony Favaro's picked up some valuable innings, so veteran guys in the pen deserve a pat on the back here in September. There's the ground ball up the middle. The flip to Simmons, and he'll settle for the out at second. Nice play by Phil Gosselin at second base to give ground behind the bag, and the shovel retires Jason Worth for second out.
Schlosser got the ground ball he needed, but he had it hit right back through him. So a nice play by Gosselin just to get one. Phil's done a great job defensively at every spot he's been placed. Played third base yesterday.
Nate Schierholtz is the hitter. Bryce Harper started lefty. Lightheaded.
There's the spot where Schlosser has to live. Right there, started at the knees. Let it sink from there.
Nate hit the top half of the baseball and fouled that one off. 0-2.
He was a strikeout victim in the fourth against Santana. Irvin did a great job after giving up a leadoff double and a fly ball that moved the runner to third. Getting Desmond to pop up, Schierholtz to strike out.
Ball wasn't where Bethancourt wanted it.
Fortunately, the off speed got him way out in front. See if they want to go back to a better one of those or back to that sinker he threw early in the count.
Very long top of the eighth. Yes, that'll be the end of the line for Steven Strasburg tonight. And Bethancourt will fire to second. Late break by Desmond.
Great job. Great base running. Delayed steal. Nobody was covering, so Bethancourt, who saw him break, had to double pump.
Anderson limping again too.
Did he get spiked?
Yep.
So now it's the left knee and the left ankle for Andrelton Simmons. New set of signs with a runner at second and Schierholtz in the batter's box. 3-0 Washington. And here it is. Line drive into center field. Here comes Desmond. He will score the fourth run. And Nate Schierholtz makes it a 4-0 game.
A delayed steal is designed to you just bounce off the bag and you don't alert the catcher or more importantly the middle infielders, and you can see Desmond was bouncing and then broke late. So when Bethancourt, who saw him, got ready to throw, there was nobody to throw to yet.
Had to wait that split second for him to get there, and that was too late.
And turns it into a run.
So it's 4-0 Washington. 4 runs on 6 hits. squibbed towards second, and that will end the inning. Washington adds another run. The Nationals see 4 bases on balls, and a delayed steal leads to the 4th run. Revisit tonight's AT Universe trivia question. Steven Strasburg, 230 strikeouts. That leads the National League. Named the last National or Expo with a 240 strikeout or better season.
Are you going with Pedro?
No, I'm going to go further back. I like Brent Smith.
Really? Okay, then I'll go with Pedro.
And I'll go Javi Vasquez. We mentioned all those names.
There we go.
Javi Vasquez is the man with 241 strikeouts. He was briefly a Brave. He was one of my favorite pitchers, other than the big three, of course.
I was going to say, me.
Yeah, you were definitely 1A. And as Bethancourt smokes one past Rendon at third base, and that's a leadoff hit in the Atlanta 8th.
Reach Craig Stammen in a rude way. Good rip. Pedro Martinez does hold the single season record for the organization. He struck out 305 one year in 241 innings. That was in 1997 when he went 17-8 with a 1.90 ERA.
It's a pretty good year.
Yeah. BJ has an infield hit and he struck out. Another key play in this game came in the 3rd inning when Upton was at second base after Santana sacrificed him. Ball in the dirt. Upton tried to take third and Ramos threw him out. At the time of that play, Washington had just taken a 1-0 lead in the 3rd. Braves had Hayward at third base with nobody out in the 5th. Couldn't score. Simmons had a 2-out double in the 6th. Freeman struck out on what looked to be ball 4. Broke his bat and was thrown out of the game, along with Braves manager Freddie Gonzalez. A leadoff hit here in the 8th against Greg Stammen. That one gets through the catcher. And Bethancourt will move up 90 feet. Should be a wild pitch. It is. And another opportunity for Atlanta.
Came up instead of going down. That was a tough one to block.
Stammen in for Strasburg. No walks in his 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, 5 hits. So the Braves can spoil the shutout. Inside, 3-1. Remember I mentioned Jonathan Papelbon earlier tonight. A while ago, Major League Baseball announced he was suspended 7 games for his actions in Philadelphia. Not only the self-display, but the fact he bumped the umpires twice. Roller toward third. Again, can't advance the runner. 1 out. No word on whether or not Joe West was disciplined. You might recall in that video with Papelbon, he actually grabbed the neck of Papelbon's jersey and sort of shrugged him off. Made his way back onto the field of play at Citizens Bank Park.
There's never a situation where you should make contact with an umpire. We all know that. But Joe West came over looking for trouble. It was almost like he hadn't been involved in anything in the game all day, so I'm going to go over there and make trouble. He's out of the game. Papelbon's out of the game. And whatever he did as a gesture, as awful as it might have been, that's for the Phillies to kind of take care of, isn't it?
That's their business.
Yeah. I thought Joe West was way out of line.
So we'll see if baseball announce any discipline for West. No appeal, of course, for Papelbon. He will begin serving that suspension tonight in San Diego. As Ryan Domit is the hitter. He bats for Schlosser in the Atlanta 8th. He's used Jaime, Shreve, and Schlosser in the 8th inning. 1-2.
Ryan had a good road trip as a pinch hitter, a couple of doubles, and then yesterday starting as a DH hit a home run, providing one of the Braves 3 runs. But overall, the team 26th out of 30 teams in pinch hitting. The Nationals are 29th.
Well, they may not need to pinch hit that much.
Yes, not.
Little pop. Rendon, good range near the stands, gets there. And Domit pops out on an 0-2 pitch. Washington 8th in average, but 2nd in runs, and I guess when you factor in their dominant starting staff, best ERA in the National League. Pinch hit opportunities are few and far between for them.
Nice play. I'll give you a little quiz, you guys. There's only one team in Major League Baseball that is in double digits in homers, pinch hit homers. They've hit 11.
One team in baseball?
One team in baseball. They've hit 11. The next closest is 9, and that's Toronto. I'll give you a hint. It figures to be a National League team since you pinch hit more in the National League.
Okay. Colorado.
Nope.
Most pinch hit homers in baseball. It's a National League team.
It's probably the last team you would think of.
The last team I'd think of would be San Diego, the team with the fewest runs in the league.
Bingo.
Really?
They've hit 11
Come on.
homers.
Oh, how does that happen? Wow. Thanks for the hint. The team you'd least expect. It's a ground ball off the bat of Gosselin out to second. And that is that for Atlanta. Another leadoff man wasted by the Braves. This one ends tonight. Washington shutting us out 4-0.
In case you hadn't heard, this kind of thing that's kind of sweeping Atlanta. I don't know if you're in the metro area if you haven't heard about it, but Wednesday night is Tom Glavine bobblehead night. And September 17th, when the Braves take on the Nationals, and the first 20,000 folks through the gates will take home this one-of-a-kind souvenir sponsored by Coca-Cola. Get your tickets today at Braves.com/tickets or call 1-800-745-3000. And you see that logo there on the base. That's the Hall of Fame logo. So this is a very special Hall of Fame type bobblehead too.
Now, have you seen the bobblehead doll other than in photos?
Have not. No.
So here's a close-up of one. Now, what's your first impression? Do you think it's a reasonable likeness?
Yeah. I like the glove position. That's pretty legit. The face, it's hard to tell from the profile, but.
Well, what we're doing here is showing you that they're going to put a picture of it up there by your number. Just like keep adding on stuff.
And in fact, our Fox Sports crew, I think they've got the red carpet. Instead of having candles.
What took so long on that?
Well, we're going to have bobbleheads lining your entrance into the booth.
There is a price to pay.
Yes, sir. James Russell is on to pitch, and Asdrubal Cabrera is the Washington hitter. Well, we've talked about this a lot. There's nothing else that can be said or really can be done at this point. It's up to the guys in the locker room to figure this out offensively. They are what they are, and right now they are not a good offensive team. And if the Braves want to seal their fate before the Pittsburgh Pirates come to town, swinging the bats like they are. And that was one of Tommy's goals before the start of the broadcast. Make those games against Pittsburgh relevant and play solid, fundamental offensive baseball. Tip your cap to Strasburg. He was very good, very tough tonight, but the Braves did have some chances.
Well, that's the thing here. I mean, even against the best pitchers, the best performances against you, you're going to get some chances to score some runs typically. And when you do,
that's hit to left. Cabrera's out number one.
When you do, you got to do something. You got to do something with it, and it's just, it's frustrating for everybody. I know, especially for the players, but for us watching, for the fans watching, that runner on third, nobody out. I mean, that guy's got to score. I mean, you just got to find a way to get him in.
And that's, again, numbers are what they are, and without context, they don't tell the full story or really the fair story. But this is a Braves team that hit a lot of home runs last year, as Joe said, fourth in the league in runs scored, based upon the fact that they got guys on base and they hit a lot of home runs. This year's Braves team, numbers bear that out. When this club has hit a homer, they're 53-22. When they don't hit a homer, they're 22-52. 30 games under 500. And so when it comes, as you know, guys, to playoff baseball, home runs come, but it's a big blow in the game. It can't be a centerpiece of your offense, or you're going to get shut down. And that's what's happened to the Braves a lot this year.
No, you're not. You're not winning playoff games consistently because of the long ball. You're seeing too good a pitching.
Right. And on the heels of that, and in defense of the lack of home runs in offense this year, the division, the National League East pitching has been superb. There are flamethrowers on every ball club. Good pitching in this division that's only going to get better next year. And sometimes you've just got to figure out a way to manufacture some runs, and that's been difficult to do this year.
And you know what's funny about that? You're right. As play started tonight, the Atlanta Braves had the best record in the Eastern Division at 37-30. The Nationals were 34-28. But they're about to be 11.5 games off the lead.
Well, they're about to be 2-10 for the month and 500 for the year after a real good start.
So Franzen, with one out, has a 1-2 count. And popped into the seats again. Crowd tonight, 18,220. Tomorrow night it's game 2 of the series. Aaron Harang and Tanner Roark. Aaron Harang with 11 wins pitched a great game against Washington. He's had their numbers so far this year, so we'll hope for a 9th inning rally and good luck in game 2. Little pop out towards second, and Gosselin catches it. Franson's out number 2. Washington has won 5 of the last 8 games head-to-head with Braves. Trying to make it 6 out of 9 tonight. Denard Span had the first big hit of the ball game after a Ramos leadoff walk with 2 outs. Span hit a rainbow fly ball down the right field line. Hayward made a long run, couldn't get there, and the ball bounced right off the chalk for a run-scoring double. Early 3rd inning run, and Atlanta misfired in their half of the frame, and that was just about all Steven Strasburg needed tonight.
Yeah, he pitched like he had that chip on his shoulder. And he didn't let that his own throwing error rattle him.
Good pitch to Span. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strasburg in line to win his first game against the Braves this year. His 12th for the season. And Santana didn't pitch a bad game either. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, as we've said so many times before, he deserved a better fate. Clock in Atlanta. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Span didn't get a high fastball. He's mad at himself. Might have chased ball 3. Russell has a 1-2-3 ninth. And the heart of the order coming up for the Braves, down 4-0. Bottom of the ninth. Steven Strasburg started the game for the Nationals and earns our Volkswagen pitching performance honors.
He was pretty good tonight for all his struggles against Atlanta, and certainly in this ballpark tonight was the Steven Strasburg that the rest of the league sees fairly often.
You know what? He had another pitch working tonight too. That 89, 90 mile an hour pitch that he was turning over a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I thought initially when I saw it was maybe like a little BP fastball that he was two-seaming and turning over a little bit. I wonder if it's maybe a little bit more of a split finger or something like that. But he threw a couple of them that were nasty.
Got strikeouts on him too.
So we head to the last of the 9th inning, and we mentioned earlier Matt Williams, first year as the Nationals manager. It's not been an easy first season for him, and here's one of his other challenges he's had to deal with. Rafael Soriano, once the closer for Washington, has had a rough second half of the season. Now he's pitching in mop-up duty to try to rediscover the magic in the late innings for the Nationals. Fortunately for Washington, Drew Storen has come on like gangbusters and has very capably stepped into close.
Get some guys on, see what happens. Jonathan Papelbon gave up 4 last night in the 9th inning that led to his hijinks.
Soriano's ERA before the All-Star break, sub-1. Line drive left center field by Andrelton Simmons. He'll round the bag at first. He's on his way to second. The throw way off target. Wet baseball, I'm guessing. Simmons saying, hey, wait a minute, where are you throwing the ball? He's happy with that leadoff double. Post All-Star break ERA for Soriano, 6.33.
Went up on top and got that one.
Andre Dawson-esque on that one.
Here's Joey Trdoslavich. Bats have been few and far between for Joey since coming up from AAA, but he had a 2-run scoring double in Texas yesterday. And a strike.
He finished his season up on a real high note in AAA and brought it with him to the big leagues. And his at-bats have been few and far between since he came up, but really put a good swing on the ball yesterday for those 2 RBIs.
Two. There's that cutter. That was Soriano-like in the first half. Trdoslavich didn't get it. Runner at second, 1 out in the 9th. This stuff is up, though. Maybe cutting, but it is not down in the strike zone. No. Justin Upton's cold September continued tonight. He started the month in tonight's play with a 135 September average. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Up again. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a shot headed for the corner in left. That's going to get down. And Simmons will scamper around. He is going to score on an RBI double by Upton. So the Braves are going to shut out. It's a 4-1 game. And Jason Hayward's coming up. 97 RBIs for Upton.
Did a pretty good pitch, too.
Yeah, that one wasn't up in the zone. That was down. Maybe a little bit more of the plate than he wanted, but good piece of hitting.
He's now 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position, and Drew Storen has gotten up in the Washington bullpen. Enough. And that's the second out. And it's up to Chris Johnson to keep the game alive. Chris 1 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Chris with 2 RBIs in his last 16 games. Tying run to the plate, would he?
Well, he really tried to guide that one. No success.
He did bring the tying run to the plate. A double, a single, and a walk. This one with 2 outs. Matt Williams didn't want to, but he has to now go to his closer, and Soriano cannot get 3 outs with a 4-run lead. Soriano, 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, a run, a walk, and a strikeout. Storen versus Bethancourt, we presume, when we return. By your local Ford dealers. The Braves have pushed across a 9th-inning run, and after a 1-out single and a 2-out walk by Rafael Soriano, Matt Williams will bring on his closer Drew Storen. He'll try to save the game for Steven Strasburg. He protects a 4-1 lead. Emilio Bonifacio will check in and pinch run for Chris Johnson at first base. If Chris can split a gap, should say if Bethancourt can split a gap, the speedy runner could make it a 1-run game. But splitting the gap against this guy of late has been awfully tough for National League opponents.
Mid-90s fastball. He can run it up there as high as 97 at times. Good slider. And a changeup.
There's the slider. Strike one. There's the fastball.
Good cut.
Oh, and 2 for Bethancourt. 2 on, 2 out.
Good take.
Yeah, real good take. That was a good pitcher's pitch, 2-strike pitch.
Christian's got to respect his fastball and still look for it. He's got to be thinking up the middle or right center field just to make sure he's got the plate covered.
Up and in. 2 and 2.
Not always, but often followed with something breaking away.
It was a fastball away, and he missed.
That's close, too. Storen has a look at Tim Timmons.
He's making the Nats sweat the ninth. Runners will be moving on a full count pitch. Bonifacio on his way to third. It's a 4-2 game, and the tying runs are aboard. One at bat by Bethancourt.
Mike, remember he did the same thing to Strasburg in Washington. He put up a good battle, shortened his swing up, took one to right field. This time had it covered, hit it right back through the box. Change up. Job by the kid.
So for the first time tonight, the Braves have kept the line moving. 4 base runners in the inning, 2 have scored, and now B.J. Upton hits. In the dirt, that gets away from the catcher, and Bethancourt moves up 90 feet. Away the force play at second with 2 outs.
And a smart bit of base running there by Bonifacio. He certainly had the speed to score, but he wasn't sure how far that got away. His run doesn't matter at this point. And another effort by Ramos standing up instead of going to the knees and blocking it.
Tommy LaStella's grabbed a bat. He's on deck if we get that far. Second and third now. A hit could tie it in the ninth. Right there for a called strike. Bethancourt is a catcher, but he runs well. Long legs, big strides. He should be getting a pretty good lead out at second base. Washington's outfield plays Upton deep. Though Harper's out of the game, he's not in left. 1-1 pitch. Outside. 2-1.
Sherholtz has a good arm, though, that came in for him and is playing left field. Jason Worth has a good arm. Span has the weakest arm of the 3 in center.
As Johnson's got the rally cap on, so do his mates on the bench. 2-1 pitch. Low, ball 3.
Storen wanted that one and froze on his follow through. Pretty good pitch.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that was.
Sure sounded like a ball. 3-1 to count.
That was a lot better pitch than the one he called a strike on Freddie Freeman that caused him to get ejected.
Let's see what BJ gets. Way ahead in the count here. Hot shot to short. Boxed by Desmond. Throw to first. Got him. A rocket hit to Desmond. It ricocheted off his body. He recovered in time to retire Upton, and that ends the game. Wow, what a finish. The Braves score 2 in the 9th, but their rally falls too short, and Washington's magic number is now at 2. Storen saves it in the 9th, but not without an awful lot of drama. Wilson Ramos, a big part of the Washington win. He scored 2 of their 4 runs, and the Nationals' magic number now at 2 with 2 to play in Atlanta.